What do you need to have a successful supplement company? Well, a few things. We've covered some of them in some past episodes, but one key thing is niching down. In this particular episode, I'm interviewing Maria Fabian from Terraseed. And I like the way that her company is using the intersection of two very specific niches to carve a space in the supplements sales market. In this episode, you'll learn the secret this small supplement startup used to get inside the minds of their customers. You'll also learn how they are funding their company and how you can use the same method to fund your supplement company, as well as how you can own a piece of Terraseed supplement business for yourself. The Terraseed URL is TERRASEED.com. There will be links to the website as well as links to where you can go to invest in Terraseed or start your own campaign to invest in your supplement company in the show notes. Let's get on with the show. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Health Business Mastery, the Creative Thirst podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Hewitt. So my guest today is Maria Fabian. She's the CEO and co-founder of Terraseed. Terraseed is a direct-to-consumer supplement company for vegans. And they provide the world's first fully biodegradable, all-in-one multivitamin specifically tailored for vegans, which also won the 2020 Spark Change Nexty Award. What I love about the way Terraseed has niched down is that they're covering two niches actually in once. First, they're solving the nutrient deficiencies for vegans with their supplement. And secondly, they're tapping into the larger vegan meta trend of zero waste that I'm seeing sort of crop up lately. Both of which are completely aligned with their target market. I've never seen a supplement more aligned with their target market than Terraseed. And every month, Terraseed's customers are saving 30 animals, 33 gallons of water, 900 square feet of forest by buying brands from Terraseed, the multivitamin. So Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you so much for having me here with you today. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. Can you tell everybody sort of how you got started? I know you have a long history in the supplement space, but how did you get started on the journey to Terraseed?
Yeah, well, it all started with my own experience as a vegan. I actually became vegetarian like many years ago, and I always wanted to be a vegan. That was my path and my intention. But I'm also an ultra distance mountain runner, so I was always a little bit afraid of like missing nutrients and going fully vegan. So at some point, I started supplementing, and I realized how that experience was so negative and so misaligned with my own values and my own way of living. I was, carrying all these plastic pill bottles around. And then I found that the pills were not vegan. Like a lot of capsules are made with gelatin that comes from pigs. And I was like, oh my God, this is a mess. This is one part of my life that is nutrition or having all the nutrition I need that is totally misaligned with how I see the world and what I want in a product, in a brand. So I partnered with my co-founder Hava, who was also a vegan and had like similar concerns, and we came up with this idea: why don't we do or create this multivitamin specifically tailored for vegans, so it's all in one. We don't have to carry all these supplements or like take all these different 6-8 bottles of supplements. And also, why don't we do that in a more sustainable packaging pill bottle? So we started like building this company that is Terraseed. It took us quite a while to figure out like the formula. We wanted like the most complete formula in the market because our experience was that, it takes time to figure out nutrition as a vegan. It takes time to learn. It takes time to know how to cook, how to get all the nutrients and build your diet on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. And we wanted a pill, like we wanted a formula that will cover all your basics. And that's why we wanted to be like the most complete formula. We have 9 power nutrients in our formula right now, including ingredients like iron, iodine, folate, like other ingredients apart from the classic like B12, omega-3 and D3. And then when we started like exploring the sustainable packaging, and sustainable, as you know, is a very, very broad word. A lot of brands are using like, oh, we are sustainable, clean. We use like recycled plastic, or plastic is recyclable. The reality is that only 9% of plastic is recycled in the US. And this is a shocking data that not many people know or are aware of. And, like we started like really trying to find a solution, and we came up with this 100% biodegradable pill bottle. Every single element of the bottle, the supplement facts label, the wrapping paper, all the security leads, everything, of course, like the pill bottle, everything in this packaging is 100% biodegradable. We are now actually in the process of understanding how much can or how compostable it is, and whether you can at some point compose that at home. So that's, we're continuously trying to optimize the compostability or the biodegradability of our packaging. And we are the first one in the supplement market actually with this proposal, and we are very proud of it because it took us a long time to put this together. Actually, it was like a year and a half. We could have gone for the easy sort of plastic pill bottle, off the shelf formulation, something, just put a brand around it and just, put it out in the market. But we knew that was not the path for us. We wanted to do something with very high quality and something that was 100% aligned with our values as vegans.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about the value proposition of your supplement, and the target market, because it's a very human first sort of approach to selling supplements. And the vegan market is a very broad market, but you found a way to like really niche it down with compostability aspect of it, which makes it extremely unique. And vegans in and of themselves is actually a much broader target than people really realize. And maybe broader is not the right word. Actually, there's a much broader spectrum, let's say, of vegans, right? Because you have people that are kind of on the journey to becoming vegan, right? There's a lot of stops along the way. Let me put it that way, right? So you're selling to a lot of different sort of slices or flavors, if you will, of veganism, right? The person who is maybe a pescatarian, or the person who is each plant-based like me, but occasionally has meat or something else that's non-plant-based. So it's like when I'm at home and we're cooking at home, we're 100% plant-based now since like the beginning of 2020.
Wow, that's great.
But when we order out, I do get chicken and meat, like, so I'm not fully converted vegan, and that's kind of okay with me, right? But my wife is completely 100% vegetarian at this point. So there's a lot of different kind of flavors, if it's not the right word, but I think you kind of
that could describe it really well. Yeah, there are many stops in this journey, to your point, and sometimes it's not even like a linear progression.
Yes,
you just go back and forth, back and forth. The key is that you keep moving forward, like in the long run. It's so interesting because there are so many people, especially in the US, who are starting to reduce meat. And that's the first step, right? Like being conscious about the impact of the animal agriculture on the planet and on animals, of course, and on your health, right? Like just being conscious about that. And that's the three reasons why people go vegan or start this journey. I would say meat reducers or people who decide to reduce meat in their diets are the first step. They are the ones like starting this journey. And then at the end of that journey is the vegan who has like a full vegan lifestyle, including not wearing any leather or not using any animals in their daily lives. And that's a very challenging lifestyle because sometimes you don't realize like things like the capsules you take in your supplements, like you just don't know they are made with gelatin. Like a lot of people like gummies, for example, a lot of them are made with gelatin, and is actually a little bit tricky. But that journey is a very interesting one. And to your point, like I'm mostly plant-based. Maybe my base diet is plant-based, but I still eat some meat or fish from time to time. And I think all the steps in the journey are totally okay. And I think we have to all be very open to that flexibility. And for some people, like pregnant women, they decide to maybe start taking some animal products during their pregnancy, and if that's something that gives them peace of mind and that they believe is good for their bodies, like I think we should respect that journey for everyone. Like it's not good or bad journeys. It's just like very very unique ones for every person. And in Terraseed, we really respect like all these journeys. We are not like radical or like trying to make people feel guilty because they are not like 100% vegan or anything like that. We just respect everyone's path and experience.
Yeah. So like not all vegans are the same, right?
Yeah.
But there's something that is something underlying that connects them. Maybe it's the values, maybe it's the health aspect. It's different for everyone, right? And I know you're super connected with your customers. Right? I know you've had one-on-one conversations with them, which is something I always recommend to all supplement entrepreneurs, because that's where you get the most value, the most gold, like talking to your customers. What are some of the things that you've noticed with those conversations, or anything you really want to add? I'd love to go into how you did the conversations. What are some optimizations you made to the product or the sales pages based on some of those conversations, and what are some of the things that you found through them?
Wow, that's a really good question. And I love the fact that you mentioned like the human first approach, because this is like an approach that we are building as a company in a lot of aspects of our business. And the most important one is to view our customers or members as human beings, not as numbers in a Excel sheet or like in a report, like growth report. So something, I mean, like a few months ago, after launching the product and working with a hypothesis about our product and how our product was going to be received by vegans or perceived by vegans, we had to do that exercise of like validating our hypothesis and finding out like how is this product experience for our customers. So we decided to start interviewing our most loyal customers. We interviewed 60 customers. We called that process like customer madness, and the whole team were involved in interviewing all these people. And they were like 1 to 2 hour interviews with a video call, so we could see them and we could connect with them. And I have to say, it was so amazing. The amount of information, I mean, it is a big effort as a team, But we did a lot of research. We actually, the whole team read this book called The Mom Test that I recommend like 100%. And this is a book showing how to connect with your customers and ask the right questions and how to conduct these interviews. So instead of like using like a questionnaire, it's almost like a conversation with a friend with very open questions where you just leave them talk and talk and talk, and you intervene like very little interventions, but it's mostly them talking, because they will get to the points that are the most important points for them, the pains or the gratitudes or the benefits. So more than the information, Bobby, I have to say that is the connection. Not only we interview them, but then we send them a little present after the calls. So for example, someone was mentioning like this person I interviewed, this member, she was mentioning that she loved permaculture. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's a way of like growing like vegetables and crops. So at the end of the interview, I sent her a book on permaculture to, we send that book to her house, or, like little presents that very, very personalized. So it was a big effort we did, but it was so rewarding and so beautiful. And the messages we got from them were amazing. Like, hey, I just can't believe that I can have that level of connection with the brand, So now they are part of the team. Like every time we need to do a survey or to find information, we just like reach out to them, and they have become our ambassadors. So that's for me the biggest benefit of doing all that and having that relationship with them. But on top of that, we found out a lot of information. So for example, the first thing we found out is why they buy Terraseed in the first place. And we knew packaging was going to be like a differentiator, like a reason. And of course it is. But the other one that we'd never really thought about, it was saving money. Like having all in one, instead of buying like 6, 8 different supplements that cost like $100 or even more, they will just buy the one supplement. So it was like a money reason. Of course, the convenience of having all in one, like we knew that was part of the reason. But then we were thinking, like, what makes them keep buying the product? And we know compliance is a big thing. We found out or learned a lot about compliance, which is one of the biggest issues for retaining, like your customers. And we found out that what made them keep buying the product and keep taking the product was the way it made them feel. So they felt more energy, they felt more able to focus, they were having less naps during the day, they were in a better mood, they were feeling great. And that was the main reason why our most loyal customers kept buying the product and taking the pills. And then on top of that is the packaging, and is the connection, and is our relationship with them. But at the end of the day, you need them to keep taking your supplements because they feel the difference. And that's become like really key. So we've been really exploring how our ingredients in our formula are working on people's bodies, and what, I mean, it depends, of course, like how nutrient deficient everyone is. So for people who are supplementing, like on a regular basis, they may not feel that boost in their energy as much. But for people who are like nutrient deficient, they were like, it was amazing. In a week, I could feel like all the benefits and all the, like this energy. So it was really interesting. And also we found out a lot about compliance, what makes them remember to take the pills. For example, in this case, I don't well, I suppose you've seen our packaging is beautiful, and they were saying, I love your bottles so much that I can put them in my bathroom, in my kitchen, so I can put them in a place where I can see them and I can remember to take them. So it was amazing. Like these little details are these people who are very routine oriented, like it's just amazing. Like a lot of information about the taste and the smell of the pills and how they feel when they take the pills. All the information you can think of. We got all that information. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
interviewing is fantastic. I've done it for some supplement clients, and the things you find out are invaluable. There's tons of gold nuggets, and the book you mentioned is a fantastic book. I'm familiar with that book, The Mom Test. There's also some good books on jobs to be done and that kind of
Jobs to be done.
framework for interviewing as well. Um, and I love the like secret gift to really bond that connection. But I'm curious, before because that woman didn't even know about that secret gift, right? That was like an extra surprise that kind of came up.
Mhm.
Did you incentivize these interviews at all? Did you so they were
Not at all.
100% free? They were.
No, we did a lot of research about incentivizing
Mhm.
and we came out with a conclusion like it's not a good idea. So we just reach out and we send them emails, and the people who responded, we just went and interviewed them.
And these were customers of yours on your list already, or these were okay?
Yeah, we did. After that, we did a little survey or like a bunch of interviews with people who went through the shopping cart but abandoned the shopping cart, and also cancellations, like people who cancel. And we knew we had an issue with the omega-3, well, not with the omega-3, but the way we bring that ingredient in the formula. We were using algae oil, and the smell and the taste of algae, some people just don't like it very much. So we actually came up after like talking to people or customers who had canceled, and also existing customers. We identified like the smell and the taste was an issue, like a bigger issue than what we thought. So now we have optimized the product with an enteric coating, and yeah, we are using like a different type of pill that is working really well.
Yeah, that's something that you never know until you start talking to customers and really understand. And I love how they're sort of reusing the package, even though it's completely
Yeah.
biodegradable, right? That would be an interesting thing to do. It would be to kind of maybe come out with a special bottle or like a seasonality bottle, like maybe around holidays or something, right? Like a one-time special. It's and then retire that design, right? So there's so much opportunity just within the design of the bottle itself, if that's the way they're using it, which is really connecting to that kind of human first aspect of it all.
Mm. I love that you're mentioning this because we are in the process of doing that.
Fantastic.
Like having like a special design for our most loyal customers. So once they've reached like a number of months, like to send them like a little gift. And we are already doing that with some stickers and some surprise. There is another book that I really love. It's called The Power of Moments. And it is about these little moments, right, that bring so much joy and pleasure and like surprise. And so I love that you bring that, because that's really my approach to product experiences, like how can you bring these special moments.
Another
Absolutely.
great book as well. Yeah, it sounds like you have an optimizer's mindset.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I that's what I do all day, every day. So, are there any other interesting insights you found through A/B testing or other optimizations you've done around the website or the sales pages or the buyer experience or anything like that?
Yeah, with the physical product, having this group of loyal customers who are engaged with our brand at that level and with our team has allowed us to have like a group of testers. So when we were testing the new peels, we send them to them before actually going ahead with the new production run with this type of peels, and we got their opinion, their feedback. So I think it's always good to have like a group of testers when you do optimizations to your product to get all the feedback and all the information. I think that's very important. Um, we haven't done that much in terms of like A/B testing in the e-commerce platform. I mean, we have done some tests. Recently, we're testing messaging around more like the mission of the company versus a more like product value props focused type of homepage. And the mission focused approach is more powerful and is giving us like better results. I would say we have been focusing more on the physical product so far. And now that we know this is a product that is working for people, that's when we are going to start like building more like the digital. That's where I bring a lot of experience, because I had a previous business that it was a company, a yoga and meditation online company that it was acquired by a company based here in Boulder. And like it was a subscription based, and then I started working for that company that is also subscription based. So that's more my space, like the digital marketing and building brands in the digital space. So I think we're doing a very good job there, but we wanted to nail down, like really understand, do we have product market fit? Is this working for people? And then from there, we can start growing and scaling the business. But we wanted to make sure we had something that we could start scaling from.
Yeah, yeah, and you put so much into that because it's really very personal to you. Uh, that that makes it very difficult to kind of start up, right? You didn't build a company where it's kind of like we're just testing this offer and seeing if this offer sticks. Like you built the company with the brand in the center, uh, right? Really around that human first approach, which is amazing, and that's kind of one of the trends I think that the supplement industry is going towards.
Mhm.
But what challenges did you face kind of along the way? I know you're still kind of on your journey to building the company, right? And I know you're looking at adding more products down the road. But what challenges and roadblocks have you faced so far? I know funding is probably one of them, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But are there
Mhm.
other areas of challenges besides funding?
Yeah, I think for us it was more like the packaging aspect, because we were bringing a lot of innovation in that space, and as you know, innovation comes with a level of challenge that is always um, very tough. I'm not going to lie. We heard no after no after no after no. Oh, you're trying to do something that is not going to work. No one is doing that. There's no way you're going to find this or that. So I think in a way that gave us a lot of uh, perseverance, and it made us like very convinced that we had to do that, and it gave us the strength to just keep facing more and more challenges. I mean, it was such a big challenge to start with, that every single challenge that it was after that, it felt like, okay, if we've done this, we are able to do whatever comes our way, whatever additional challenges present in our way. And I think it was a very, very interesting process. And when we were able to do something, and we are testing shelf life now that is looking really good. So obviously we built something very robust and efficient. It gives you a level of like satisfaction and the feeling of like, okay, I can do things. We can change things in this industry. I don't know if you're aware, but like there are billions of animals that are killed by the supplement industry, or that the supplement industry is contributing to killing. And there are like billions of plastic bottles created by the industry, and we are here also to change that, and it's a big mission. I think it's something that hasn't been sort of put out in the to the public, like this is the impact of the supplement industry on the planet and on the animals. So we are sort of embracing that mission, and it feels sometimes a little bit like, wow, this is a big thing. But also that mission and coming out with this packaging at the beginning and sort of like connecting with that mission and leading with that mission and with a human first approach and animal first approach and planet first approach is giving us so much energy and I don't know how to describe it, but sort of like motivation and purpose that we're unstoppable, like we're just going to go and really make this happen. We are. And I think having that level of commitment with what we are doing is not even about business, like the growth and the numbers and the revenue that will come if we do things right. I'm convinced of that. It's a consequence of doing things right. For me, will never be the focus, like just grow. And that's why like financing, you just mentioned financing. That's been also a big challenge, to find a way of financing the company that is aligned 100% with what we're building and how we're building it and the why why Terraseed.
Right. That's not something you can just kind of get a seed round from an investor because they're going to want to turn it around, right, and sell the company to get their money back. That what you're talking about is something that's way more in tune with values, really, your values and your co-founders' values, your partners' values, and also your customers' values. All of that is really in a line. That's one of the things I really like about the brand. I know before we started, we talked about financing and equity crowdfunding that you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? So is it basically, can the buyers or the customers of your brand actually become owners of your brand? Is that kind of how it works?
Yes, that's one of the way it works, and I'm super excited about these these route that we are taking for fundraising efforts. Equity crowdfunding, I don't know if you're aware, but it's this new vehicle where companies can open their ownership of their companies, of their cap table, to anyone. Like that doesn't have to be accredited investors, so they can offer the ownership of the company to their communities. So their customers, also their friends and families, also their, in our case, the vegan community, people who believe in the mission and people who believe in what we're doing. So the amazing thing about these vehicles is that every person, regardless of how much money they earn or what is their wealth, like how it works, of course, with accredited investors. In this case, you don't need to be an accredited investor, so you can just invest as little as $200 up to $50,000. And like any person can just go and contribute and invest in your company. So the way you're building that ownership, the way you're just almost like giving that power and that wealth back to people instead of keeping it with VC investors who are, at the end of the day, they are like a bubble, or they keep all this wealth and all these opportunities, like in a very small bubble. So this is a way of not only offering your community to own part of your company, but also to democratizing, if you want, like the wealth and power from companies. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. I don't know if you get my point, but it's something that we are now exploring, and it's the first time we're doing it. We're very excited, and we will see. I mean, we are going to launch the campaign in the next few days, and we are going to learn probably a lot. It's a new experience for us, but the feedback we have from other companies is that is incredible. Like when you can offer your customers and your people, your community, to be involved at that level. Again, the relationship of these people with your company, especially your customers, changes completely, right? It's just, I'm not just buying this product and paying this company. This is my company, and I care about this company a lot.
Right. It's almost like sustainable financing, right? You've got sustainable product, and you've also got sustainable financing.
I love that, actually.
So how does it like? Okay, so let's say someone invests through equity crowdfunding into Terraseed, right? And so do they get like a portion of the profits? Like how does it work? Do they get shares? Like what do they get for the investment?
They actually get common shares. So they become like real investors. They can make a return of investment when the company goes through a liquidity event or is acquired, or there is some type of liquidity event for the company. They will just make the return of investment. So it works exactly the same as a regular investor.
Just accessible to the average common person.
Absolutely accessible.
That's pretty cool.
We are using this platform called Spark Engine, and they also have a secondary market that we're planning to activate that option where investors can actually buy or in this case sell their shares if they want, or buy other companies' shares. So there is like a secondary market.
Interesting.
Shares can be exchanged or can be sold and be bought.
So I could someone can come and buy $10,000 worth of common share in Terraseed. Then they could keep some of those shares and resell some of those shares on the secondary market. That's really, really interesting. Is there a specific URL or somewhere they can go for this campaign to check out more if they want to invest in Terraseed?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if they go to terraseed.com, they will find the information there, and there will be a link, like where they can just click and go to the Spark Engine page that we are building, and they will get all the information there. I mean, the other thing that I love about equity crowdfunding is that it brings a level of transparency about your company that you normally don't see in other brands, in other companies, because you are making all this information public. So your revenues, your team, your financials, everything is available for anyone to go and have a look and see the health of your finance situation, like how much money you are making, how much you are spending, salaries, like all the information is there for everyone to have a look to.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's available to anyone or just to investors?
It's public.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
So the level of transparency is interesting, because when we started working, on our values, like what are the values of our company. Transparency was one of them, and I feel like this way of raising money and getting funding is so transparent and it's so honest that I really like it. I think it's very aligned with what we're building.
It's completely aligned, not only with the business and the brand, but also with you and your values.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah,
100%.
that's what I love about your brand. Everything is so aligned and also so niched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think as you know, like the vegan mindset or the vegan philosophy is becoming more and more mainstream, which is amazing, right? Like I think celebrities and everyone now knows someone who's fully vegan, or like everyone is just curious about, like, oh, I'm going to try this impossible meat and see how it tastes, and or this
Delicious, by the
vegan
way.
cheese. Yeah. So I think we're trying to achieve the same thing for supplements, like bring these ethical and sustainable proposal to the mainstream supplement industry, and demonstrate that there is another way of building supplements that is more respectful with people, with animals, with the planet. um, yeah, and I think it is possible. It is possible to go mainstream and show like there is another way of doing things, for sure.
Yeah, you're pioneering it, not only in the product and innovating the supplement industry, but also innovating the business end and the financial end of it. I love it.
Mhm.
Before we close out, are there any sort of trends that you're seeing, broad trends or narrow trends, not specifically for vegan, but you can, even just trends in the health supplement space that you're seeing?
Mhm. I think the trends are really specialized options. Personalization is a big trend that we're also looking into. Um, as I said before, like building the brand around the product, or just starting from the brand, or like linking those two that have been very disconnected in the past. I think consumers are becoming very, very demanding and very picky. So being transparent, as you know, like with the supplement industry, has always been like this reputation of not being transparent, being opaque. Where are all these ingredients coming from? So everything that is, transparency about ingredients. I think that's a big trend, and we are also like sort of jumping into that trend. Not jumping. I mean, in our case, it's more at the core of what we do. But obviously, there are more brands, working in that direction. And I think overall, like this human first approach, I think is becoming more relevant, especially after COVID. The way you build a company, your team. Um, there is so much we can do in that way, that I think there are more and more companies working in that direction.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Maria. Is there any place people can get in touch with you, or you want to mention the URL again if they want to buy your supplement?
Yeah, totally. So they can visit terraseed.com. They will get all the information there. And if they want to get in touch with me, my email is maria@terraseed.com. So they can just reach out, and just send me an email, and I will respond to them for sure.
Fantastic. I'll put both links and the email in the show notes in case anybody wants a quick way to get there. But thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great chatting with you and sharing my crazy ideas.
Creative Thirst is a direct response digital agency focusing on conversion rate optimization and A/B testing. We work with dietary supplement companies who are struggling to maximize the profitability of their funnels so they can scale. Through the last 7 years in the online health space, we've optimized many dietary supplement businesses. And in that time, we've uncovered the 3 critical funnels for success. We put together that information in a free digital download called The 3 Funnels every health supplement business needs to build a multi-million-dollar empire. You can get that free report by going to creativethirst.com. Scroll down to the appropriate section and click on the blue Get Your ebook button.